Kristin. I'm a rural squirrel. I am a longtime traveler, thrifter, and reseller. I love to go to yard sales and estate sales and thrift shops and find all kinds of amazing, wonderful things, but I especially love going to the bins. The bins are a Goodwill outlet. Everybody generically calls them the bins, whether it's a bargain barn or a warehouse or whatever. It is the discount place where all of the items that either didn't make it to the floor because of condition, or maybe they didn't sell at the regular retail Goodwill locations, or maybe they got donations directly at that donation center. So lots of different kinds of things that you can find at the bins, and we're gonna buy those things by the pound. So there's a set price. We'll talk about some of that too, but I found a bins location about 9 years ago by accident. I was walking into what I thought was a regular Goodwill, and as it turns out, it was a bins location, and I've kind of been hooked ever since. So because we travel so much, I like to hit different bins locations all over the country, and I've been to about 30 or 32 different bins locations, and of those bins locations, I have done videos at about 26 of them. So these are the 26 different bins locations videos that I have on my channel, and you can find that in the playlist called Bins Trips. It's called Bins Trips. You can check that out on my channel. I hope that you're subscribed. Because I've been to so many different bins locations, I get people asking me all the time, what are my favorite bins locations? It's really hard to pick just one. It's like asking to pick your favorite kid. I really do like going to the bins. I love the cost of goods, and I can find something good in every bins location. I can find something to resell. I can find something for personal. I just like going to the bins. But if you were asking me which were my favorites that I would go back to, this is gonna be my top 10. Now, the way that I arrived at my top 10 is this. I took into consideration price, whether or not they had carts, because carts are important to me, quality of the items that I found, whether or not the staff was helpful or fussy or, challenging. That was a consideration. Whether or not the place was clean, which is sometimes hard to do whenever it's a bins location, but weighing cleanliness into the equation was something that I considered whenever I picked my top 10. Their order of operations, meaning how did they make their transitions? How did they make new rotations? Was it super strict? Was it chaos? Was it chill? Those kind of things are something that I'm going to weigh into the consideration also. And then busyness, because some bins are busier than others. And I recognize that sometimes they're busy on some days and not on others. I think that's the case with, if you went to the grocery store, sometimes it's busy, sometimes it's not. So I did think about that and didn't give it a whole lot of weight, but I also wanted to consider whether or not it was just crazy or whether or not it was just pretty chill. So I guess that would also, not just busyness, but the shoppers, whether or not it was, what kind of vibe did it have, I guess is the quantification that I would give that then. Okay. So again, not saying that any of the 26 that I've been to are bad. I'm just saying that these are my top 10 favorite. So let's start with number 10, Salt Lake City. I really liked Salt Lake City because great city, nice place to go visit. Definitely worth going to check out the bins if you're gonna be in that area anyway. It's beautiful. The price is pretty average. Here's a pricing structure so that you can get an idea. The quality of items was great. I was only there for a couple hours and was able to get some really nice things, including like Pendleton and Patagonia and Free People. So good things that I did find there. Lots of clothes, but they also had books, and I feel like there was some small appliances and things like that too. They had everything separated pretty well, but lots and lots of clothes. Not the cleanliest bins location that I've ever been to. Very busy. Their order of operations was pretty organized. Everybody was really respectful of the rules and making sure that everybody gets out of the way, and so that they could do it quickly and safely. They were pretty chill with me having my camera out, which again is something that is going to be specific to me, the way I'm going to be judging it, because it's important to me whether or not I can film in there. Carts were a little difficult to get to, and the staff was like super chill and super cool. It did feel like you were in a basement a little bit because there was no lighting, and that was also sort of a wah whenever it comes to making choices about where I'm going to rank them in my top 10 list. So Number 10, Salt Lake City. Number 9, also a beautiful town and definitely worth going to visit. I would go again, not just for this bins location, but because it's just a gorgeous place to go visit. Reno, Nevada. Really cool location. It was next to a retail Goodwill, so it was a little confusing on how to get into it at first, but it definitely had some great stuff. I found some amazing things. The quality of the items was really good. The price was good. A little wonky, actually. There was some things were separated. They separated the items like kind of a lot, where a lot of places is just flat rate. That's what it costs. That's how much it is. They did pull things out a little bit. The staff was super helpful though with trying to figure out what stuff costs, what all the different prices were. As far as carts though, no carts. There was none. It was like non-existent. So make sure you bring an IKEA bag with you. It was pretty clean, but it was definitely a smaller bins location. It wasn't a terribly big one. Great stuff. The vibe there was really chill. It was pretty busy the day that I was there, and they had some windows. So I do like making sure that I can see and that I have great lighting whenever I'm in there. So number 9, Reno, Nevada. Number 8. Number 8 is Omaha, Nebraska. I really do like Omaha. It's a really chill town. So the vibe in the Goodwill outlet in Omaha, I think it's off of 72nd, is just chill and relax. Just everybody just feels very, very friendly. It feels like you're hanging out with friends whenever you're in the bins in Omaha. Great lighting. There's plenty of natural light. They have windows. Carts were not an issue, so plenty of carts for everybody. Their order of operations was pretty strict. They didn't let you have the carts down a new rotation. You had to clear a certain area whenever they were getting ready to do different aisles and stuff, so that was nice. Not very many clothes. There's just a handful of, like, one little row of clothes. Shoes are separated. For the most part, you'll still see shoes like intermixed with the books and the lawn and garden hoses and stuff like that. I mean, everything is just sort of thrown in the wares department. But there's some really neat vintage type things that you can definitely find in the Omaha area. I really liked them. The price was comparable. It wasn't too expensive, and the vibe there was pretty great. The quality of items isn't maybe necessarily as good as Salt Lake, but everything else about it was super chill, super vibe. It had windows and Salt Lake didn't. So it was smaller, kind of like Reno, but still found some great stuff, and I will be going back. I love going to the Omaha, Nebraska bins. So number 8, Omaha, Nebraska. All right, ready? Number 7, Northport, Florida. So other side of the country, love the view in Northport too. The beaches were fabulous, wonderful. Loved the weather while we were there. So that's all. I'm sure that has an underlying factor when I'm picking my favorite places. But Northport, Florida had great windows. Plenty of carts. The staff was super friendly. They weren't super excited that I was filming, but they did have really good things. I found some great stuff while I was at Northport. I found some Hermes shoes. I found a Ralph Lauren scarf that was just amazing. Northport, Florida, of the 3 locations that I was in Florida, is probably my favorite in Florida. So definitely made my top 10. The pricing structure was pretty good. The quality of items was good. Wasn't like the super cleanest location that I was at, but maybe it was just that day. Maybe it was just a little bit chaos that day. And it wasn't terribly busy the day that I was there. I was there during the week, but the vibe and everything was pretty chill. It was a really nice location. So, and I'm definitely going to go back to that one too. So number 7, Northport, Florida. Number 6, Jacksonville, Illinois. I really like this location. It started out being a tiny location, kind of like Reno, kind of like Omaha, a smaller location, but they've recently expanded. So there's lots of bins at this location. The way that they rotate, their order of operations is the most chill and relaxed. They don't really have to get too drill sergeant-y about making the rotations. Everybody is very respectful. The vibe there is amazing. The people that are the shoppers there are just the sweetest people. It's a much bigger location now, and there's plenty of shoes. There's plenty of clothes. They've got their toys separated. They've got their wares separated. And then they have their wares, even in the glassware part, separated into more bins inside of the bins that are at the bins. They've also got a whole section of just plush, just toys, just linens. It's very organized. The pricing structure is pretty good. I do wish that they would separate their glassware though, because glassware can be pretty heavy. And a lot of locations pull the glassware out separately, like St. Louis pulls them out separately because it gets heavier. There's a lot of things that I've left behind because I thought it was gonna be too heavy and too costly to buy them. So I do wish that they would separate their glassware from their wares, but overall find some amazing things. But even more, I've met some amazing people there. So Jacksonville has great prices, always plenty of carts. It's always pretty clean, got a great order of operations, and they're just amazing people there. So Jacksonville, Illinois, number 6. So now we've got into my top five. Let's recap. Number 10 was Salt Lake City. Number 9 was Reno, Nevada. Number 8 was Omaha, Nebraska. Number 7 was Northport, Florida, and number 6 was Jacksonville, Illinois. So number 5 is Rogers, Arkansas. Now I've only been to that location one time, and I was there in later afternoon, so it was not terribly busy. I think I was there on like a Tuesday, and there was plenty of stuff to be had. I don't remember them doing any rotating when I was there, which it makes it hard to be able to, give them a grade necessarily. I don't know if I would call it a grade, but it makes it hard to judge them based on their order of operations. The staff was absolutely super helpful, very friendly, came out of their way to say hello. The prices were so comparable. There was plenty of carts. Again, that could have had something to do with the time of day that I was there, but the quality of items, the things that I was finding there that late in the afternoon, really surprised me. I found some great things, some Gucci slides, some Tory Burch. I found a trumpet. There were some great things there. It was pretty clean. It was pretty well lit. It was hot in there though. That was the only deterrent. That's the only reason that I've got them at number 5, because it was a really nice location. Decent size, really cool people, great stuff, plenty of carts, and the pricing was competitive. So I loved that location. Number 5, Rogers, Arkansas. Okay, number 4, Chaska, Minnesota. You guys, this is such a cute little bins. It's not terribly big, which is why I've got them ranked at number 4, but the quality of items that were there, the price was great. There was plenty of carts. The staff was good. It's pretty clean, especially the bathrooms, which can get really gnarly in a bins location. They were pretty busy, but everybody was really chill. Their order of operations, the way that they rotate was so chill. They did one rotation, and I didn't even realize that they rotated because it was so like chill and relaxed. Not everything there was banger stuff. I did find a few good things. I wish that the quality was a little bit better, but as far as being able to maneuver in there, people not being too aggressive or fussy, or the staff being helpful, everything else about it was just great. Really like Chaska, Minnesota. That was my number 4 pick. Hey guys, sorry for the interruption, but it wasn't until I was doing my editing that I realized I completely skipped over number 3. So I'm gonna quickly just re-record just a section here to tell you what my top 3 are. You guys, this is top 3. So here we are. Number 3, Des Moines, Iowa. Oh my gosh, this was such a surprise to me that this is such a nice bins. There are lots of windows. There are plenty of carts. Everybody there is so nice, and it's so clean. So they didn't mind that I was filming. They were fairly busy. I was there during the week, so maybe that makes a difference, but they had things on shelves. They had things in the bins. They had things separated. They had things priced well, and their order of operations was amazing. They were so calm. It was like everybody was very patient. They just brought things out, put them in line. Everybody started digging. Nobody was throwing elbows, but everybody was busy. It was perfect. It was great. The quality of things that I found there was pretty good too. I found Patagonia. I found this amazing bag, and I found some great yarn. I mean, don't sleep on those craft supplies, guys. Those things sell pretty quickly. So there was some great stuff there. I definitely will be going back. That was probably one of my favorite locations, obviously, because it made my top 3. So number 3, Des Moines, Iowa. Okay, back to your regularly scheduled programming. Number 2, and I may catch some slack for this, but if I'm grading everything based on price, whether or not there's carts, the quality, the staff, the cleanliness, the order of operations, and what the vibe is, I'm gonna give number 2 to Denver, Colorado. I love Denver, Colorado, and I'm super grateful that it's not far from me. That is my home bins, is the Denver bins. Now there are 3 in the Denver area, but the one in Denver is my favorite. The lighting there is great. The pricing is comparable. The staff is always amazing. The quality of the items that I pull out of there are every time just fire. Their order of operations, they run a tight ship. So everything happens pretty quickly. They do try to keep things organized and keep down the chaos. It can get a little busy in there. It can get some people throw elbows on occasion, but you don't always have to be in the new rotations, and you're still gonna find amazing things. However, the people, the vibe that is there, the shoppers are incredible people, and it's just been amazing. The cart situation is a little bit wonky, and they do get a little possessive of their carts. I completely understand why, and that's the only like little deterrent that they have. I wish that they didn't have to be so strict with their carts, but I understand why. And sometimes it could be a little bit cleaner. But the bins are what they are. So that was my number 2, Denver, Colorado. Ooh, I love Denver. Now, for my number 1 pick. This was really hard because I wanted Denver to be my number 1 because it's like one of my favorite. But if I'm grading everything based on price, carts, quality, staff, order of operations, cleanliness, and busyness, the vibe, I gotta give my number 1 spot to another one of those Midwest bins.
While you're thinking of it, please make sure that you hit that like, hit subscribe, tell your friends, do all those good things, make a comment, and we're gonna keep digging.
So drum roll, Bridgeton, Missouri. So this is, I know the locals call it the bougie bins in St. Louis. So Bridgeton is just on the north side of St. Louis. This bins location is just off of 370, and it is a big bins location. It has great pricing. They separate their glassware, which really is nice. There's always plenty of carts. There's always good quality. The staff is incredible. They are so helpful. They're so friendly. They always like to joke around with you. And these people clean it after every session, I'm gonna call it, because as far as order of operations, as a shopper, it's kind of a pain, but it is the most probably effective way to rotate things. They close the whole store down. So they have a morning session where you go in and you shop all morning, then they close down for lunch, I guess. They clean the floor, they sweep the floor, they rotate and bring out all new stuff, and then in a couple hours they open up and you get all new stuff again. So they do that twice a day. They have a morning session and an afternoon session. So order of operations is like very efficient. There's no concern about whether or not somebody's gonna get run over by a cart or anything. It's great. What a great idea. It's always pretty busy, but it's never so busy that you just can't get into the bins. You don't generally have people trying to elbow you for stuff. It's just a really chill, very friendly, very well lit, very clean, great pricing. Because it meets all of the check marks, it hits all the boxes. Bridgeton, Missouri is gonna hit the number 1 space for me for bins locations that I've been to in the country. It is definitely worth taking a trip. If you're gonna go to St. Louis, hit the ones downtown. Also very good, and I would make sure that I give them an honorable mention. They're amazing. I love that building. It's got great structure, but make sure that you get over to the Bridgeton location. It meets all of the criteria for a good bins location. As far as honorable mentions, I mean, St. Louis is up there. I also want to make sure that I mention Colorado Springs, Nashville, Vegas, Cedar Rapids, Charlotte, North Carolina, Sarasota, Florida, Oklahoma City, Greenwood, Indiana. all good locations, and definitely found some great things there. They were all fun. I had a ball going to every single one of them. At every bins location I've ever been to, I've always had a good time. There are no bad bins locations. If you want to get tips and tricks on how to shop the bins, my go-to tricks that help you have a successful adventure at the bins locations, whatever bins is closest to you, make sure that you check out this video. I will link it in the description below. You can also find it on my channel. And if you want to see my least favorite bins location, make sure you subscribe.